What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I am joined by my good friend, Degenerate Jay. And before we jump too far into the video, I want to shout this man out because a very close friend of mine, he does Kingdom Hearts stuff on his channel as well. If you actually click on his channel, the first thing you'll see is a Kingdom Hearts video. Just wanted to kind of give him that shout out. He's trying to get some Kingdom Hearts fans out there, and I know there's many Kingdom Hearts fans that exist in the world. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Jay's channel, he's had videos on Kingdom Hearts. He's going to be doing videos on Kingdom Hearts, and I just want to welcome him really quickly to the video. Jay, thank you for being here.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm really excited to branch out this year. Kingdom Hearts, Fallout, the Dark Souls, Soulsborne type games. I remember all the way back to where I was too scared to play the first game because I had a weird phobia of Nightmare Before Christmas, all the way to waiting 300 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. So it's been quite a journey, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Well, speaking of 500, 300 years, we have a little chart here we need to talk about for this video. So I made a video a few days ago. We talked about, Kingdom Hearts 4 being in early development, and that's cool and all. I don't think it's that far out. I know it's a meme. I don't want to sound like I'm I'm not paying attention to the internet trollsters out there. I know it's funny, and trust me, it is very funny to talk about how these games take 10 years to make. But at some point, it also becomes not actually true. These games don't actually take all that long from when they're announced to when they're released. So let's go through this chart because it's really the only one that stands out, as you'll see, is Kingdom Hearts 3. So Kingdom Hearts, May 17th, 2021, release March 28th. I'll just say the time lapse. So between announcement and release for Kingdom Hearts 1, 10 months. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, 1 year, 1 month, 16 days. Kingdom Hearts 2, 2 years, 2 months, 26 days. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2, 1 year, 8 months, 9 days. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, 2 years, 3 months, and 19 days. Kingdom Hearts Recoded, 3 months, 28 days, basically 4 months. Dream Drop Distance, 1 year, 9 months. Kingdom Hearts 3, 5 years, 7 months, 15 days. So Kingdom Hearts 3 really is the one that stands out here with being over 5.5 years long. The next two are Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 2, both of which are around 2 years, 3 months, if you kind of round it. So there's only one that's ever done this before. And again, I get the memes and stuff, and I get it's funny, and I like to joke about it too. I think it's more funny to joke about how convoluted the story is. But in reality, it doesn't take that long to make these games. And what I think some people know, maybe not everybody knows, Kingdom Hearts 3 had a lot of issues when it was first announced. I know I've told the story before, but let me add on. Kingdom Hearts 3, well, number one, when they first showed it, they only had what they showed. They didn't have anything else at the time. Part two to that is they also had to, as many have pointed out, they had to swap their engine to Unreal Engine 4. So instead of reusing assets, and I know that's a controversial thing in and of itself, but instead of having to reuse things, which would drastically lower development time, they had to make everything again from scratch, something they don't have to do now because they're going from 4 to 5. It doesn't take that long whatsoever. Whereas for Kingdom Hearts 3, they had to go from their own engine to Unreal Engine 4. So the point I'm trying to make is it's really not going to take, in my opinion, all that long. Now, can you read into the other ones? I don't know for sure. I don't remember, Remind is in here, Melody of Memory is in here. These are just, I guess, eight examples. It doesn't count every Kingdom Hearts game, but even Remind was not more than a year or so. Melody of Memory, I think, was 4, 5, 6 months. So it really doesn't take that long from when they announce it to release. So I personally think the game comes out 2 to 3 years from now. I think spring 2024, like I said a few days ago, is possible, if maybe unlikely. But you know what? Again, after seeing this chart, I really don't think it's that crazy to assume it would be spring of 2024. And I think probably 2025 at the latest. I highly doubt they make the same mistake they did with 3 again, where they show it and we see it 5 years later when they release it. I don't think you can do that. I know some people have pointed out maybe there's a Disney rights thing where they have to make Kingdom Hearts games so fast nowadays to keep Mickey, Donald, Goofy, to keep the Disney aspect. I don't know how true that is, but that could be something that kind of pushes them forward. So, Jay, what do you think about the time periods and all that?
I think that one thing that's interesting about this is a lot of people conflate 2 points on it, which you're not doing, but a lot of people will say it takes forever for Kingdom Hearts games to come out, but they're ignoring all the stuff in the middle. That's kind of my issue with this, because while I personally, when you and I talked about this, I think on Twitter, so obviously not here, but we talked about it, and I jokingly said, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 2025, 2026, not because it takes forever, but because I just want them to take their time and make a good game. Because not to make this a Kingdom Hearts 3 bash video, I like that game a lot, but I have my issues with it. Same with Dream Drop, that I would say I didn't really have with much anything before that. So, you know, I'm kind of on the fence here where I like want them to take their time, but I also don't want them to take their sweet time and take almost 6 years like Kingdom Hearts 3. I think though that a lot of people are looking at it almost as Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3, and they're ignoring 358, Birth by Sleep, Coded, Dream Drop. Worth mentioning in here as well that we did get a remake of Chain of Memories there as well in there, which isn't even on this chart because it wasn't really, from my understanding, it wasn't really announced much. It was almost more just packaged in with Final Mix for Kingdom Hearts 2 in Japan, and then eventually it got released here in the States.
So this also doesn't include any collections. It doesn't include 2.8. It doesn't include actually quite a few, you know, different things. So yeah, Jay's right. I mean, they're skipping. I've never liked, you know, that kind of argument. I like to joke as much as the next guy that it took Kingdom Hearts 3 forever, but it's not. Let's not pretend they didn't do anything. You know, between, you could argue they did too much in between 2 and 3 and made the story too crazy in between 2 and 3, but they definitely released, you know, games in general.
Yeah, and at the very least, I would say 3 of those games are necessary for Kingdom Hearts 3 to exist. Like, I'm going to say Rechain and Recoded are not actually necessary. I think Rechain is very fun because it allows you to play Chain of Memories on the PS2 type graphics and stuff. That's probably one of my least favorite games in the franchise though, because of the cards. But you know, that game was necessary to expand on the distance between 2 and 3 in the same way that 358 and Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop were necessary for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. Now, I do agree with what you said. You could argue they didn't have to be. Like, they could have not gone back, or they could have just done Birth by Sleep and 358 and not done anything with Coded or Dream Drop or any of this other stuff. But I do think that all of that stuff does help flesh out the series. And while there are choices that I don't personally love with some of the time travel and things like that, the way that this narrative was going, those games were almost necessary in order for 3 to be made in the first place. I do understand that some people just want to jump from main entry to main entry, but I think you haven't really been able to do that since Kingdom Hearts 2. I suppose you could, but you're going to be missing a lot of story. So if that's kind of what you're doing, not to tell people how to enjoy the franchise, but I'm not sure how much you'd get out of it by skipping all these middle games in the first place.
Yeah, they're a necessary evil is really the quote, and yeah, no, they you know, nowadays you have to play them, you have to know what what they're talking about in order for 3 to make sense. But yeah, you could argue, you know, retroactively they didn't need to do it, but that's kind of all, you know, I wanted to bring to you guys. Just this was a really good chart. I want to thank, actually, let's thank 13th Vessel. So nice little reference there on Twitter. Put this together. I think this is where it actually came from, and pretty good. Just a nice little reminder call. So, you know, here's hoping we get Kingdom Hearts 4 as quickly as possible, with it not, like Jay said, not being rushed. I'm not saying I want it to come out 2 years from now rushed and, you know, the story makes no sense, even less sense, I guess, than it would. I want it to be fully made, but I also don't think it's going to take, you know, another 5 years from. Also, they've been working on it, I would assume, for at least 2.5 years at this point. So I think we're further along than people think. So make sure, you know, as always, you guys are subscribed here, bell icon turned on. There's going to be many more Kingdom Hearts videos coming. I've already done several over the last couple days. Make sure, again, you guys check out Jay's channel. The link's in the description if you guys want to go on his channel, support him. He's made Kingdom Hearts videos. He's going to be making more Kingdom Hearts videos, and I'm very happy about that. The more of us, the merrier, because there's more than enough to talk about, you know, with this franchise. So Jay, thank you so much for being here with me yet again.
Hey man, thanks for having me. And I do want to say real quick, you know, I love these games, and also on my second channel, Degenerate Plays, I played through the first game, and we are going to be playing through Rechain of Memories starting pretty soon. We're just kind of in the middle of a bunch of stuff, but I just recently got my wife to start playing these games, and we're on Kingdom Hearts 1. So I'm torn, man. I want the game soon, but I'm also like, got a lot of games to work through basically twice here for me. So I want it soon, but I don't. I'm excited either way.
And thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.